Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to Let's Try the BattleTech Backer Beta. BattleTech is, well, first of all, the BattleTech franchise is like 30 years old. It is a tabletop board gaming, well, not board gaming, like miniatures combat style, where giant robots beat the crap out of each other. And this BattleTech version is being developed by Harebrained Schemes and published by Paradox, and the people behind this are the same people, the same person who created BattleTech in the first place and founded FASA, and all those great sort of games, BattleTech, all the Shadowrun stuff. Harebrained Schemes did the Shadowrun re-releases and all that kind of jazz. Now, BattleTech, unlike, say, if you played, like, Mech Warrior, especially Mech Warrior 4, God, I love that game, which was a sort of first-person, you're driving around the mech, blowing things up in real time. This is a turn-based strategy game that is very reminiscent of the tabletop experience. It's not a one-to-one conversion of the tabletop rules, because there's a few things that are tweaked to be a little bit more, just work better on the computer, but it will still give you that vibe that you're working around there. Now, this is the backer beta. This was a Kickstarted project, and this beta, it has gone out to people who back the projects, probably at certain amounts, as well as press people such as me. It is very much just kind of a glorified tech demo at this point. It doesn't have the campaign, doesn't have multiplayer, doesn't even have a full setting screen. It does just let you try to experience the actual skirmish battle, 4v4 mechs on some sort of battlefield. So there's a lot of features that are not yet going to be present in the game. Probably a million different game balance things are going to change, and features and user interface, because I don't think the game's going to be out until something, I don't remember, but I think 2018 is the release date for this game, so there's a long way to go. Of all the games I saw at PDXCon, this is the one I'm most excited for to play in the final version, because the campaign for this that has been described sounds amazing. The idea of they're going to be basically the strategic map in the campaign is going to cover a whole sector of space, like a big chunk of the galaxy, and it's going to be very sort of open. You can go to any of these star systems. You're going to be kind of a mercenary company. You're going to be accepting all sorts of variety of jobs. There is going to be a sort of campaign, like a set of connected jobs to form a story to give you some of the, some of that context. So there's a main campaign that you can go and complete and win, but the game isn't supposed to end there. It's just, you can keep taking missions, keep doing things. You're going to have access to a dropship that you can upgrade. You can have more storage bays. You can scavenge more mechs, upgrade them, tweak them, that sort of thing. And I'm really excited about that mechanic. That being said, none of that is in this particular demo. All we're going to be doing is a skirmish against the AI. So what we can do is we can choose our lance over here. A lance is a standard 4-mech group in the BattleTech universe over here. There are some presets that we can go and take a look at, a few different setups here. We can change the budget, whether we want the clash, battle, or war. At a war, we'll be using a 25 million budget, and really that means we'll have enough for some heavy lances over here if we want to play with that. But I mean, and you can tune it, right? Like I can say, oh, I don't want a Vindicator, I want a Battlemaster, although that will probably, there we go. That will put me over the limit, so I can't do that. So you'd have to go around and tune this stuff if you want here. I think we'll just go with one of the regular ones. I'm going to let my opponent use this one, the Heavy Assault, which has got the Awesome, which is awesome, and I'm going to go for this one over here. It's weighted very differently here. You can see that the budget of our mechs, I mean, overall we're spending about the same amount of money, but I'm top heavy here because we've got an Atlas mech, which is 100 tons and very, very powerful. Then we've got an Orion over here, 75 tons, and we've got two relatively light mechs, the Commando and the Panther, at 25 and 35 tons apiece. Light mechs, only 25 tons over here, whereas they're a little bit more evenly spread out at 45, 50, 75, and 80. And it'll be fun to try that. There are also a variety of different pilots that have some different abilities as well. I'm going to go ahead and leave the defaults in here. I think that's going to be perfectly fine and okay. There are a few maps in the game. We are going to... What do I want to do? I mean, the river crossing is the one that was shown in the previous examples, so I feel like I should probably change it up. It is nice because it does actually have a river, which you can stand in to cool down faster. Maybe Big Lock. Now, it looks like we actually might be fighting around a lake, so we'll do that. And you get to set the mood. Foggy day, rainy day. You know what? We'll have it be a rainy day because this sounds like it might be a Scottish kind of thing. So we're going to go with a couple of heavy mech lances on either side. So my heavy battle versus their heavy assault. And let's go ahead and load that in. So I'm going to apologize right off the bat if any of the visuals, once we get into the game, are a little bit weird. As I suspect this is a DirectX 12 game, and as a result, I'm having problems capturing the game in the normal way because my software, I think I've got to update my recording environment, especially with all these DX12 games that are coming out. I might be wrong about what's going on here, but I'm just capturing the view from my monitor as opposed to hooking into the game directly. Every now and again that leads, especially as I sort of like rotate the view, that might lead to weird screen tearing. It looks like it's okay to me, but if you see any sort of weird glitching like that, I'm going to apologize. That is entirely on my end, and I probably have to do more. Okay, so here in the skirmish, we've entered our map over here, and somewhere out there is the enemy lance. And this particular scenario, all we have to do is destroy everyone else. That's it. It's winner take all. Whoever has the last mech standing wins the game. So we do have I haven't played on this map, so it'll be interesting to sort of like consider different stratagems as we go. Now, we are currently in the pre-battle phase, which means right now we can just freely move our mechs in any order, and at some point we'll make contact with the enemy, and then we'll go into the really sort of initiative-based turn system. I mean, it's still turn system here, but it's a little different. So what I'm really curious about, I think we're going to, I don't know if you can see relative speeds, because some mechs have more movement speed than others. Standing in the water is great because, well, it does reduce movement speed, but it gives you double the heat sink. Heat management is a massive part of the BattleTech games. All weapons generate a certain amount of heat. In particular, energy weapons generate a lot of heat, and overheating your mech can lead to internal component damage, and massively overheating your mech forces your mech to shut down and lose a whole turn of action. So that's quite bad. So standing in the water tends to mean you can fire very freely. On the other hand, standing in the water means that you don't get cover. So that's less than great. I think I might try to make my way over to this island here with the awesome. Although, one of our mechs has jump jets. Right here, the Panther has jump jets. I think this is our 35-ton mech. And so it would have the ability to pop up and off the island pretty quickly. I'm actually wondering about doing a crazy sprint and then dropping onto this little island with the Panther. It'll give us a decent amount of view. He'll be in cover, and no one can come right behind him to melee him. I mean, someone could come behind him to try to shoot him in the back, although if we have more mechs positioned over here, we'll be able to do a fairly good job. Let me go ahead and start with that. That might lead to... Oh, you can also set the firing arc, but I didn't bother for that one. I probably should have. What I like about the commando mech over here is that it does have a sensor lock package in here, which can be kind of handy. I'm thinking we might do something quite similar. I'm going to try to get you up on this ridge over here. And then my big two mechs over here, they have a lot of lasers. The missile packs tend to do a lot of heat as well, so I think if we can keep them in the water, that would be really good, assuming we don't get shot in the spine. You can see all the arcs that show the various ranges of my various tools over here. So we're going to move you over there and see what we can do. This might turn out really bad. Usually you want to spend the entire game in cover if at all possible. But we'll do that. Now, if you do take a sprint action, which these characters do, that gives you the evasive trait, which I think gives you like a 50% chance to dodge things. Might not be 50%, and I'm sure these numbers will change in the future, but there's a lot of different ways to get cover. One of the nice things about the sensor lock that you can do with the commando here is that it does eliminate the defensive bonus from cover. Oh, I can't actually get there. I didn't realize that was sort of bottlenecked. I could move up here, though, which is kind of interesting. Oh, none of these places have cover. There's some trees, but there normally be little green icons to show you that there would be cover in these places. This is a remarkably cover-free map, actually. I did not realize that. Unless we want to stay back in the trees over here. Now, line of sight still certainly matters. I'm actually wondering if I should just wait for the opponent to come to me.
I'm here.
Now, they won't be able to fire on me right away when they spot me on their turn. So I think I'd rather have them spot me. So I'm not going to go too far forward, but yeah, I think keeping the heavy mechs here in the water is going to be quite good. Not having cover is less than great. Now, if they come around a flank, which they could certainly do, we might be a little bit screwed up, but I'm hoping they come right up through the middle here. Although those force will be quite good for opponent cover. Where are you, you bastards? Now, what I would like very much is if the sensor package on some of my light mechs might actually, like, help us get more vision on people from further away, especially in this phase. That could be very handy. I will sprint you up here. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sprint you up here after all. And see if anything's coming from that angle. Because we need to know as soon as possible if something is. Alright, we're still good. We're still good. And the Panther, if I were to use a jump jet, can I get over there? No, not quite. But let me do this. I'm going to face this way just in case someone comes that way. You don't want people to be able to shoot you in the back. So there's all these different armor locations. So you get center torso. Normally, the center torso getting blown up, that's the end of your mech. There we go. There's our contact. Wow, we started quite far apart on this map. I guess the idea is sprint to this area here and gain control of the trees. Well, knowing that in hindsight, I might have moved up a little bit faster. But yeah, so you've got all these different armor locations, and with different amounts of armor. Usually losing the center torso is what kills you, although losing the head will also kill you because that's where your pilot is. Losing arms and things like that mean maybe you don't have as many weapons. Losing legs means you don't move as quickly, and so on and so forth. But from the back, you're very lightly armored. So here we get into the initiative system. So now that we've made contact, we are in the normal battle mode here, and I think this is brilliant. There are 5 initiative phases. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, with 5 going first, then 4, and so on and so forth. Mechs that are, say, in Initiative 1 can only ever move in Initiative 1. That's their only option. They move on the 1, and that's it. But any mechs that are faster, so both my light mechs are operating in Phase 4 over here. That's those little 2 white brackets here. Those are my 2 mechs in Phase 4. You can also see the number 4 listed here, and it's a little harder to see because it's dimmed out, but you see a 2 and a 1 over here. My opponents are going to be acting 2 mechs on 3. Then we're each going to have 1 mech each in the second and first phase. Now, my fast mechs can always reserve their action. You can look, if I mouse over this, you can see the brackets over here move to the next phase. So you're not forced to move first with a fast mech. You just have a lot of options with them, which is very interesting. I think it's going to be perfectly fine for me to move my mechs up here. Now, you can see now there's little green spots over here. By the way, the map is hex-like, effectively, with the movement, but it doesn't show hexes, just the standing spots, which I think is quite cool. And I could just move up here. I could also jump and get quite a bit further. Now, what I like about this location here is that I'm still quite protected from these rocks, so it's very unlikely that they're going to be able to get line of sight on me. So I think I am, in fact, going to jump right over here. Because they won't have line of sight. We're not going to have line of sight on them, but these are my light mechs. We have to remember to be kind of cautious there. So I'm in cover here. That's great. So Mockingbird here, piloting the Panther. We're going to definitely want to move her. Oh, right. I'm not done with Apex here in her Panther. I could try to attack, but I don't have line of sight. So I'll just go ahead and brace, which will enable guard. Gives me another 50% damage reduction, except it doesn't actually stack with being in a forest. So you don't get 100% or 75% or however you might want to count it in this particular scenario. But it's still pretty good. Now here we're quite out of position now with the commando, so I will send it this way. It's possible to get line of sight, and I won't actually be in cover. Looks like there's this is muddy water over here. We can't sensor lock because we don't have vision on anything, so we'll just go ahead and brace. Guarded, entrenched. So they're going to get to move up. We've got just, again, very, very loose sensor locks. Now that they're within vision range, we've got a better sense of things. Ooh, that's a big jump. Oh, and he's going to be able to take a shot at my Panther. It's a good thing we're in cover here. So a little bit less damage. We took a little bit of damage to our right arm on the Panther. Alright, now it's time for us to move up with our Orion over here. You can get line of sight markers, which is kind of handy-dandy. Oh, marsh. Okay, so this is marsh. This is not water. 50% stability damage reduction from all attacks. So, oh, we're actually going to, it sounds like we're going to lose less stability if we stand in the marsh. So stability is a very important part of the game here in BattleTech. In the real physical game, a lot of things will require your pilot to make various skill checks. If you're running, if you get hit, you might have to make a roll to see if your pilot is able to keep your mech steady, and so on and so forth. In the current build of BattleTech, there are no pilot skill checks of that nature. Pilots do bring some skills to the table. They've got some unique abilities that come up. That's this thing here, for example, Bulwark. If you gain guarded when remaining stationary. So the Orion here, my ozone-driven Orion, doesn't actually need to use cover as long as he stands still, which is quite nice. But so there's not this pilot skill check to see if you stand up. Instead, there's a stability meter. As you take damage from various things, especially high explosive things like missiles, especially melee attacks, this dramatically increases how unsteady you are. And if it gets all the way to the top, you fall over. Now, steadiness normally decays, or unsteadiness, I should say, normally decays back to zero. You gain more stability every round. However, there's a middle point. If you get past this middle point, then your mech is considered to be unstable or unsteady at that point, and you can't decrease past that middle point again unless you I think unless you do the brace over here. Removes unsteady. Means you don't do anything, but you sort of just steady yourself onto the ground. Now, my Orion does have line of sight to two separate mechs over here. So we can tab between them to see what's what. And you can see which weapons can actually reach. So we can use our long-range missile pack of 15 missiles over here against the Centurion, or if we tab over, we can take a shot at the Vindicator and also use our autocannon over here. Now the autocannon's only got a 45% hit chance, but even the missile chance, we only got 55% over here and 65% over here. I think the thing to do is to fire at the Vindicator, which actually has quite a bit of heat from using its heat jets, or jump jets. So we'll go ahead and take the shot. At least some of the missiles will hit. That's a nice thing with the big spray of things. So that's quite good. We actually hit one of his right torso over here, which tends to be a little bit more lethal than hitting in the arm, so that's pretty good. Ah, we've got some indirect fire over here. This, I believe, from this assault mech. Was that he that fired? No, it wasn't. It was this guy over here. The 75-ton mech here, this heavy. Use missiles. Missiles can indirect fire if there's line of sight. So that's what's going on here. He's using his missile pack to be able to hit me without having line of sight, which is pretty scary. Alright, now we've got our Atlas, though. So we can move in, and we will have line of sight. That's going to be pretty good. We'll still be in the water, so we don't have to worry about heat. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to charge forward over here. And we'll take a look at the hit chances, but part of me is thinking we'll keep piling on the damage onto the Vindicator. The Wildfire does have a multi-tech mode, fire weapons up to 3 separate targets within your mech's current firing arc. I think that's more relevant if we had different guys that were accessible by different weapons or at different ranges. In this particular case, I think a single attack is going to be sufficient. So 85% chance of hitting the Centurion with our long-range missile packs. Only a 70% chance to hit the Vindicator, so we've got a better angle over here. I think that's indeed what we're going to do. This is still one of their lighter mechs, so we can apply a lot of damage quite quickly over here. 85% chance, and this is a pack of 20 missiles, so this is a lot more damage that's going to come here. The downside to missiles is they do tend to spread the damage out over the mech quite a bit, so it's not as common to get a kill shot. On the other hand, they do lead to a lot of instability here. So the final assault mech's going to go here. If he's got long-range missiles, he might be able to do some indirect fire on me. Okay, he didn't at that point. So, now we're going to have to figure things out. This Panther over here hasn't taken that much damage, but he's not in a great place. He's not very heavy, so he might be in a bit of a risk. That being said, he's still in cover. He still can't be directly fired at by that many things, although they will be moving in over here. There's a few things I could do. I could jump back. I could do this. I don't have long-range missiles for really indirect fire. I think we might just stay put and take a look at our shots. Okay, the only person we can shoot at is the Vindicator. Now, our short-range missile pack here only has a 50-50 chance to hit. If I go and turn that off and only fire the particle projectile cannon, whatever, the awesome laser beam awesome thing, the particle cannon over here. If I only fire this, so it's got a good hit chance. The other thing that's quite important is that Apex here has precision strike. When attacking with a single weapon, she ignores cover and guarded state on the target. So this target has cover, but I think this blinking light means I'm going to be ignoring it. See, now it's got cover. turn that off, we're going to be ignoring that cover. And I think that's the way to go. So we're going to go ahead and fire. It also generated a little bit less heat. PPC is a single shot, 50 damage, and it can lead to a ton, especially on light mechs. You can obliterate the armor in one particular area, and that's what we did here. For he's very unstable, he took head damage, he lost one of his weapons, he may have had a laser in the head or something like that. That's great. Okay, now my Mockingbird, what I'm going to do with the Mockingbird is I think I'm going to delay, although I don't like the fact that my Commando. Mockingbird is the code name of the pilot. I don't like the fact that I'm exposed. The reason I was going to wait is because if one of these guys does a sprint action, I can go and throw a sensor lock on them that removes evasive. It also does, like, crazy line of sight, right? Like, that's a whole... If I sensor locked on one of these guys over here, I'm going to be able to indirect fire. The Commando is quite squishy, so we don't want to go and get ourselves in too much trouble. I don't know. See, we'd be opening up ourselves to line of sight to a lot of things. I could go over this way. What kind of... I've got short-range missiles, medium lasers. Yeah, this Commando's really not in a good place. The thing I'm worried about is if I don't move, what kind of trouble might I get into? Well, I'm still fresh. I mean, I'll take a lot of hits, but I've got the stability boost from, I guess, like, planting my feet in mud. Alright, we're going to go ahead and just reserve you. Oh, we probably will have to reserve you twice, actually. Well, it'll be alternating. But I'm hoping one of them sprints and we can put a thing on. Ah. That's probably crazy. Alright, I'll move to here. Well, actually, I'll move as far as I can. Oh, it's interesting you've got vision there. I'll move to over here. The further you move, the less you can twist your firing arc, but that's going to be okay. Yeah, we'll do this. It'll minimize the chance that too many people will be able to show up and start firing, focus firing on my Commando. And that would be bad news. These are not great odds. I don't currently have any heat. Also, it's possible if we hit with enough missiles, we might move this one to unsteady. I'll just go ahead and take the shot here. Okay, we didn't... Oh, excellent. He is unsteady. We didn't blow up an armor or anything like that, but we're continuing to apply damage on that side. Facing does really matter. You do tend to do more damage to the side, you know, that you're in front of. If you get to the side or to the back, that is a big miss over there. That, oh, some hit, some missed. Okay, big jump here. Oh, into cover. Interesting choice. Alright, we're going to get our Orion over here. We do have a few attack vectors here, because we do have the long-range missiles. But I think what we want to do is we do want to close in. I think moving to here into cover is a great idea, and we'll probably keep applying damage to Centurion. Now, the lighter mechs are certainly less threatening. Well, he's got another Orion over here, so it's Orion versus Orion. Lighter mechs are less threatening, but at the same time, they can still do damage, and they're a lot easier to just keep taking out. We actually might knock this guy down. I probably won't fire the SRMs. Here you can see our heat meter, and look what happens when I turn off the short-range missiles. We generate less heat, so we're going to do that. We could save a lot of heat by not firing the lasers, but I'm going to go ahead and leave them on.
Acknowledge, Commander.
Miss, come on. Boom, 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 boom. Head hit, pilot injured. I think after a couple of injuries, the pilot is killed, and that will take out the mech. So that guy's not falling over. That's too bad. I was actually hoping to knock him over. This Orion's going to move up. Now, that's going to be quite interesting. We might be able to plan some flank attacks after this. Oh, we got hit in the head. We're also very unsteady over here. We might need to do a brace. But our big Atlas is going to move now. Now, again, the Atlas here he's slow. He's very slow. I think the thing to do will be to end our turn in water one more time. This might not be a bad use case for our multi-fire. Because I suspect... Oh, we can only LRM here. Okay, you know what? We're not going to bother shooting at this guy at all, actually. 35% chance to hit with long-range missiles, sort of indirect fire. No, we'll just direct fire at the Centurion. We probably don't even need to fire everything, to be honest. But I'm in the water, so I'm not worried about heat. That's normally the thing why you would mostly turn off weapons. Not really to preserve ammo, it's mostly to manage your heat. But we're going to get very little heat here standing in the water. So I'm going to unleash my entire salvo against the Centurion here, which is already fairly damaged. You can look at the heat meter over here to see, or the armor meter. Hit in the head again, no kill. We do get a knockdown. Now, knockdown, on your turn you can stand up and then still take an action. but you don't get to do as much. If you do... Oh, actually, that's going to be very interesting. If you fire at someone who's shut down from heat or knocked down, you can do a called shot to various body parts. And so we may have an opportunity to do that right now with some of our faster mechs here. Now, the Mockingbird has been damaged a fair bit. Quite a bit. Or the Commando, I should say. We might want a GTFO at this point, because again, it's that light mech issue, right? I'm going to start by moving the Panther. And I'm going to move to face this way. I'm still going to be in cover. Got the precision strike attack. So there's you. We could hit you with a lot, 95% chance. We could called shot this guy. So again, well, I may as well leave it on, because precision strike just removes defensive traits, which this character does not have. So we could do a called shot to, say, the center torso. If we hit it with the PPC, there's a good chance, because this is light mech, that it will just explode. On the other hand, that's a really good chance to hit. You can see everything would be focused on one side. We might be able to take off one arm. He's a lot heavier armed, though. Much heavier armed. So what are the odds that I can actually blow up one of his guns? I don't know. This is actually a really interesting decision here. There's a chance the PPC to the center torso won't kill him. I could knock off maybe a leg or something like that. No, you know what? We're going to go with the much easier shot right here.
Firing all weapons.
Because I suspect we'll be able to focus quite a bit of damage on the Orion this turn. He is not in cover. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. I would love to get the Mockingbird somewhere safer. I wouldn't have line of sight here. You can also do melee attacks. I suppose I could move here and take a shot. I could move really crazy. Just sacrifice the Mockingbird and, like, run up here. I mean, I could even run up in melee, but that, I think, would be a little silly. Okay, I'm going to move to here. This probably means we're just sacrificing our Commando. But you know what? That's fine. This is me playing here. These sorts of things happen. So, well, we're not actually as accurate as I'd hoped. I could just put a sensor lock on him, but I don't think that helps us that much. We'll take the fire. Plenty of the short-range missiles will hit. Looks like our medium laser hit as well. You can see, like, this guy is much, much more armored than some of these other things. So he's going to stand up. I think it eats something like half his move. I think he can still move. Oh, he's using a reversing action to get in the woods over there. Maybe we should have hit him while he had a chance. He's going to take a shot at our Commando. Okay. Mostly I'm worried that the Orion's going to blow that up. The Vindicator's going to hop over there, get more line of sight on the Commando, though we got good cover. He's got a lot of heat from that jump. Alright. Orion on Orion combat. What's my bulwark? Right, if I remain stationary, I get the damage reduction. I don't know if it stacks with the forest. Still, if I were to attack right now, what are we looking at? The long-range missiles have very bad accuracy against this Orion. We got great accuracy against the Awesome, but I think we need to continue to focus fire on someone. We might be able to do critical damage here, but I feel like hitting the Vindicator might be the thing. Turn off the SRMs. Well, they're all pretty low. You know what? No. Turn off the long-range missiles. We'll just hit the Orion. We're going to be focus firing, I think, on this guy a lot. Missed, but that's too bad. A smattering of damage from the missiles. So yeah, again, the missiles really spread out the damage a lot. It's harder to get a killing blow with it. Now that's interesting. Are you going to be able to have enough move to turn back to face us? Oh, you are. And now you're under cover. Right arm destroyed on our Commando.
Internal damage.
That's okay. Our Commando's not really the biggest source of our damage.
Yes, Commander.
Okay, if I move here, I'll be in cover. And have a lot of angles. Now, they might start shooting at me, but probably they'll keep picking at the weaker mechs. If they start hitting the Atlas, it's actually not the worst thing ever, because he is really tough. I don't think the multi-target will be required. Although, you know what? Actually, this might be great, because I would love to keep hitting the Orion, but the long-range missiles suck at that. So the problem is, I don't really know how this works. So multi-target. There we go. A and B. Ah, there we go. Fire on A. A. Excellent. Fire all these things at A. And then over at B. Ooh, that's not as high a chance as I would like. C, fire that guy. Although that will put me over the overheat range. I don't believe that'll lead to a shutdown. I think this will lead to internal damage. Oh, you toggle. There we go. Hold on. 65%, 70% chance. I love it. Okay, this is actually a really good interface after all. So you flag all the targets, and then assign each weapon to that. I mean, I could simply not fire the LRMs and prevent any kind of overheat damage, right? If I just turn this off, we're in safety range. So basically, at this point, what we're doing is a normal, just auto fire, or just normal fire against the Orion. Like that. Okay, let's just do that. I don't think there's a cooldown on the multi-target, so I think I could have still technically used the multi-target tool. Both legs are heavily damaged, not destroyed yet. Oh, we did do enough damage to knock him down, though. That's good. Because our fast mechs will be able to do targeted shots against the Orion. And that actually starts to sound pretty good. So the Awesome's going to go here. The Awesome has 3 PPCs. Huge heat generator. Oh, he's got evasive. Now that is interesting. So we got a couple of different options here. If we want to start focus firing on the Awesome, and honestly knocking a couple of his PPCs out, like knocking off one of his arms before the action starts, would be heavily valuable. So what we could do with our Mockingbird here is I could pull back to here and then just put a sensor lock on this guy. This will remove... He's currently evasive because he sprinted. And, yeah, well, that's that. Remove the evasive trait and apply some damage to the Awesome. Or do we finish someone off? Well, in this case, we're going to go ahead and just try to do this. And I'm going to hope that we can get, with a little bit of flanking, Haynes line of sight, does evasive. I'm hoping with a little bit of flanking, we might be able to just blow one of his arms off.
Awaiting orders.
The other thing I could do is death from above this guy if I'm willing to suicide, because you can jump jet on top of someone's head. And that ain't bad. Be great if there was cover over here, because I would love... Love. Panther's taking some damage, but not a ton. If I move here, I've got a shot on the Awesome. Alright, no, we're gonna... Ooh, that's too far. You see, I can't get the firing arc. So, I think I'm gonna be forced to fire in front of him. Elevated terrain here is... I think does give you a little extra chance to hit, but I'm worried about being just completely naked here with the Panther. And we'd be hitting on the wrong side. Cover. Hell, do I just stay where I am? Huh. We got a good chance to fire. Not moving means we generate a little bit less heat. You know what? 100% chance to hit with both. We are going to be hitting in the front arc here, but that's okay. Okay, they're both torso hits, including quite a bit of damage to the left torso, which is where one of his PPCs are. Commando taking some damage.
Can't take many more of those.
No, that's true. Oh, but the other light mech's just going to fire at the Atlas. Be surprised if it even scratches the paint. Alright, ozone. So this is a big one to figure out. Bulwark's nice, and again, it means we don't need to worry about cover, although... Oh, and we can see the arcs over here. So if I do make it to right here, I will be hitting on the arc on the side. And actually, the side where we've got that torso damage, so I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to move and face kind of this way. Keep things nice and forward here. And we're going to hit him on the left-hand side. Yeah, if we did this, then we'd definitely get a shutdown. And those are pretty low accuracy, so we'll just fire without that. We may have to do some heat bleed off soon with this with the Orion here. But this is a good amount of shot, and you can see here we're just going to be hitting the left-hand side.
I'm on him.
big damage to one arm. He's unsteady as well, which is good. But I think our Atlas will go first in phase 1, which is great. Our Atlas is going to be able to take a shot at the right flank of these awesome. Okay, keep missing, keep missing, keep missing. Smattering of spread missiles, that's going to be fine. That's not going to kill this guy, unless he got really lucky. Okay, time for the Atlas. So we've got cover here. Although if I don't move, hold on, if I don't move, you do generate a little less heat. I don't think it's going to matter, because I think... Oh, we've already got a flank attack on him. So we're going to shut down regardless, so we may as well go with everything. Because I don't think it matters. I mean, maybe we take more internal damage, but yeah. We're going to apply absolutely everything. I mean, about half these missiles will hit. So it's not like there's just a 50-50 chance of all or nothing here. Everything else has got a 100% chance, which is great. I mean, we do have a sensor lock. Target size, that's a big part of it. So yeah, we're just going to load everything at this awesome. We may not destroy it because it is an assault category mech, but there we go. We took out the left torso, which means it lost a PPC. Also took some head damage. So the Atlas is going to shut down. You can see it's taking a little bit of heat damage all over its body, and it is like internal structural damage as opposed to armor, so it could be particularly dangerous. I like he's glowing red hot. The awesome gets knocked over. And yeah, I guess it doesn't have anything in the arm, even though it looks like it does. Or maybe it had something else in there. But taking out the torso is huge. So that's one less PPC shot we've got to worry about. He is cover precision. Okay, he's firing a single weapon with precision strike, I think. But once again, we've got an interesting choice here. Do we run away with the lights? No. What we're going to do... Great to keep hitting that one flank. But I guess to a certain extent what we want to do is we want to start hitting him on the other side to blow that up. Or get lucky and get some center torso shots. Why don't I... melee would give us 45 damage. We did lose one of our SRM 4-packs. I think we just might move up and melee him. Let me go and take a look at our Panther first and figure out what we want to do there. If I were to just stand here and fire... Oh, the PPC, right. No accuracy. Because it's min-range, I think. Yeah. It's kind of funny, like, these mechs... I guess, you know, it's to cover a variety of use cases, but the result means there's never a good opportunity to fire with everything. I think we want to keep applying damage to the awesome. But here's the thing. If all 4 SRMs hit, that's 40 damage. If I hit with the melee, that's 45, so that's slightly more. The melee also is quite good for generating a lot of unsteadiness. So we're just going to go ahead and punch him. Because it looks like it'll probably deal a little bit more damage. It'll also be all in one area. So sometimes you can burst through things a little bit faster. And I'm actually wondering if the Mockingbird just does the same thing for 45 damage. The hit rates aren't great, although I think we could get closer. Obstructed. Target moved. If we got closer, we'd eliminate those +2 modifiers. But I think, likewise, 100% chance to hit in melee. Let's just do that. Again, I don't think he's got anything in this arm. We'd have to go through the arm to hit the torso. Not even sure about that. But that's pretty good damage. Now, both their lights are going to get to go. We're clustered, but I don't think that makes a difference. I don't think there's anything that does splash damage. Might be wrong. Commander takes a bunch of damage. Very unsteady. Actually, is he going to fall over? Left leg destroyed, and we got knocked down. Okay, well, that's not great. Now, in a campaign, I would probably be a lot more interested in retreating these hurt mechs so they don't get blown up completely. So I don't lose the pilot, so I don't lose the mech, so they can be repaired. But in a one-off here, I'm perfectly fine sacrificing my light mechs. Now, we have taken the first loss, which isn't great. But I'm kind of feeling okay. Wait, I can't hit the awesome... Oh, I don't have the facing. I also have a ridiculous amount of heat. So this, I think, is another great example of let's just punch. Punching really burns off a ton of heat. Because it doesn't generate much. 100% chance to hit, 100 damage. Yeah, just turn around, punch him in the face. We punch him in the center torso. It's getting pretty weak there.
Critical hit.
Now, my Atlas isn't going to get to act, because all he's going to get to do on his turn is reboot. So yeah, we are doing great damage, but it is spread out a little bit, so it has me a little bit concerned. They're not really in a position to do a flank yet. The guy with the jump jets could do something a little bit scary, but... Oh, I think our jump jets got taken out on our Panther.
Critical hit. Critical hit.
So yeah, you're just going to reboot. But you're going to have no heat next turn, which is good. The Awesome's going to stand up. He is going to take a shot. But again, the Awesome, I suppose if he melees, he's dangerous. I don't know if you can stand up in melee, actually. Oh, apparently he can. That's the melee right there. Lost a leg, knocked down. Because the PPCs suck at close range. We've seen that. So we didn't have to worry about him using those crazy weapons. Alright. So, Apex, you'll stand up.
Back in the fight.
So, I mean, we would ignore cover, but no, I think it'll be the same thing. I think we just melee him. Now, I could run away. Again, if this was a real scenario, I'd be very interested in running away and saving my mechs. But here, no.
Reduce mobility. My mech is limping.
Right. But you can still melee him, right? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'll remind everyone, this is a beta. Come on! No! So I'm still feeling really good about the combat, because I'm losing my light mechs here. But... Oh, there we go. Just took a while to finish the walk. Whew, alright. It is a beta, but at least it didn't hang and crash. Camera went a little crazy there. Both legs destroyed! But my heavies are still fine, and their heavies, their assaults, are about to get obliterated. The Awesome has very little left, and their Orion is in really bad shape. Note that we don't have a proper vision on these guys anymore. Alright. Let's see here. So we could just punch you again. And I think we will. Although, I would love to move first, because I don't like the fact that we've got a side facing over here. So I think it's the right thing, because we still have a ton of heat. And it's a 100% chance to hit. Although, you know, I'm thinking, his center torso is so heavily damaged that any damage to the center torso would probably finish him. And so we might want to use spread damage to increase the chance of that happening.
I'm going down.
Okay, you're fine.
Oh, crap.
I could have done a brace at some point to remove the unsteadiness, but that's okay. So Wildfire over here, I think you're going to do the finishing job. You're going to move like this. You don't have any heat. Yeah.
10-4.
Okay, clear line of sight here. Multi-target. A. B. Cycle the LRMs. There we go. Everything's got a 100% chance to hit. So we're going to put most damage on the Awesome, but we're also going to missile over there. We're at overheat, but it's not warning us about shutdown, so it's just going to be internal damage. And that's fine. Hopefully we blow up the Awesome, so it doesn't, like, just step on the guy who's face down. Center torso destroyed. That's what we're looking for. Drop some missiles on the Vindicator.
My heat gauge is getting pretty high.
It is. I mean, like, the Atlas really does well in the water, and it would have been nice if we could have kept him there. I could try running back to the water at this point. Oh, you did a death from above on our guy who was on the ground and killed one of my autocannons. It's actually really brutal. I was feeling mostly confident. Now I'm a little less. Stop hitting my guy in the head. Well, we do have an Inspire opportunity here, so that's good. So, obviously you're going to stand up first. So, you get this Inspiration bar as you do good things that go up. And you can use it to inspire someone and give them a much higher chance to hit. So right now, do we want to move? Actually, I think it would be very good if I could do something like that. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Keep our front facing. We do have a pretty injured torso over there. Let's consider. Those are pretty bad odds. Oh, stood up gives you a huge penalty. Ah. That I had not realized. And we could counter that penalty with some Inspire. Is that what we want to do? We could do another, like, crazy balls-to-the-wall shot with the Atlas here to shut down. Okay, you know what? We'll Inspire Ozone.
Show 'em what you got.
Hopefully that will help us a fair bit. I don't know if it'll do enough. Actually, it does a hell of a lot. So, okay. 95% chance to hit regardless. We're going to go for this fella. This Vindicator's more hurt. He's a little squishier. He's got the PPC, which is scary. So yeah, we'll fire everything that's not the LRM over here.
I got you.
And that's some center torso damage. He's not dead, just knocked down. We might do some multi-shots on the guy who's down on the ground. Like, spread it out a little bit. Yeah, man, the Atlas is just so hot all the time. Okay, lots of instability.
Real good here.
I don't really want to brace, though. Alright, Wildfire. Let's consider this. So yes, there's a lot of heat. Unit takes structure damage each turn while overheating. So that's not the water, that's just the marsh for steadiness. But we could start pulling back. Like if I did... I have to turn on some weapons so we can see the firing arc. Yeah, I can't actually get the firing arc to go. If I move to here, then I can still do it. And I think that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to try to consider pulling back towards the water. This may or may not be a full overheat turn. We're going to have to see how that goes. I suppose I could have also backed up, but I don't think it would have helped that much. So, we can cold shot this guy to center torso. So, if we take a look at the lasers... If we just fired 2 lasers at his center torso, it might kill him. It would also prevent us from getting to self-damaging heat. The lasers hit for 25 damage. It's got 33 structure. We need both to hit, and it's only 90% chance. The SRMs can do... They've got a 6-pack, and they do 10 each. But I think there's going to be a lot more spread. Still, that might be... I don't know how the spread works. I'm actually thinking about this. There's still no shutdown here. So we're going to do this. 1 spread of SRMs and a couple of lasers. And hopefully between all that, there's going to be at least 2 hits. We just need 1 laser and 1 SRM to hit the middle. And that would be sufficient. There we go. Center torso destroyed. Excellent. So again, our Atlas is going to take a little bit of internal structure damage. But next turn, he might be able to back up to the water. Centurions, this guy's a little lighter. The Orion's got some heavy firepower, although he's pretty heavily damaged. I think our Orion might fall over.
Internal structure damage. Confirmed.
Again, we're unsteady. It'd be nice to, like, steady ourselves with a brace, but then we wouldn't do anything. And the guarded, I don't believe, stacks with being in the cover from the forest, so... And we get guarded automatically here anyway. I suppose this would be a good example of, like, you standing in the water and then not moving means you get guarded every frame, every turn, which is pretty good. You don't have as much of a heat problem, though. Not as much. It's still there. I'm worried about getting in the way of the Atlas. That's, you know what? And that's ultimately what's going to happen. I'm not going to move the Orion because I don't want to get in the way of the Atlas. I will fire the AC-10. The AC-10s don't generate as much damage. The hit chance is pretty low, although they do a lot of damage in one chunk. Okay, I mean, no fatalities, no extreme stuff. The Orion's got crazy amount of heat. I was going to say, he probably won't do anything. He might. Flank attack here. Might shut him down. No, he just did a sprint, so he's got evasive, so he's harder to hit.
Yes, Commander.
There we go. That will work out well. So yeah, I'm just going to move the Atlas into the water. We're not going to have much in the way of cover, but that'll have to suffice. All right. We could multi-strike here. I mean, I guess every turn. There's no reason not to, because it doesn't seem to generate any extra heat. So we've got 2 targets, so what we can do is... Okay, I don't think it's worth doing the missiles. There we go, 70% chance. 70, 80, 80. Oh, apparently we're going to apply everything over here, because he's got... Even... Question... No, that's tricky. He's evasive. He's going to dodge like 50% of stuff. And it's not being represented in a percentage chance over here. So we actually do want to focus on target A. Even though it says a lower percentage chance just because he can't dodge. We don't want to shut down. Although this won't be a shutdown. This should, you know what? Let's stop taking any overheat damage. Because now that we're in the water, things will improve a lot. So yeah, we're just going to be firing at, I can't remember, the Centurion over here. Oh, is he evasive as well? No, it's showing me the stats from the Orion. He's not evasive because this guy fired. So some misses, some hits, head hit. Okay, unsteady. I mean, he was in cover, so that helps. And I feel very confident the Atlas can easily take just a whole hit and just be fine. The Orion's got a fair amount of heat. I'm actually wondering, like, should we just go and melee this guy? Well, I was talking about moving him to an entrenched position and do some firing stuff. Like this. I mean, he's not going to... Actually, yeah, I kind of like the idea of moving as far back as possible. If we did a reverse, how far can we get? We can get more stability, but... So, it looks like if I were to just move, there's no way for me to not expose my back to one guy. Although my back has full armor right now. He's still got evasive, though. So maybe we should hit the guy who's not evasive. That means exposing my back to the more dangerous fellow, though. Yeah, we'll do this. I could do this and then I think brace. That actually is probably a good idea. Removes unsteady and gives me guarded, which I wouldn't have otherwise. Helps burn off a lot of heat. I mean, I'm in the water now anyway, so it doesn't really matter as much. But I think that's actually a great move. Because firing on the Orion would not have been that helpful. That is a big amount of damage right to our center torso. We've got a lot of armor there, but yeah, he fired one probably autocannon right into our center torso, and that was sucky. So again, we'll engage auto target mode, just so that we can make some decisions. It's worth noting that the Orion... Okay, he's got cover, so he's got 25% damage reduction. Hang on a sec. You have the cover, but you're guarded, so you actually have 50%. So the Centurion's going to take less damage. So I'll still go into multi-target mode, but A is going to be the Orion. We want to prioritize the Orion as much as possible. Because he's going to take... Do we fire the LRMs? Maybe not, because it would, again, do a little bit of internal damage. So we can fire everything, all at the Orion, who's got less damage reduction, less cover. We've got good accuracy with this. We're not going to overheat. Sounds good to me. If we hit him in the legs, he's going to have a really, really bad time. No, we didn't kill a leg, which is too bad, because it would have knocked him down, and apparently that makes it really hard for them to shoot back. Centurion's going to move over here. He's just going to fire from the side. He's still got cover. But that's not too worried. Again, the Atlas, that's our trump card. This guy is a beast. Because we had such a top-heavy team, it was going to be a little bit deceptive how much damage we were going to take from things. Now, this is interesting. I could run up and melee this guy. I'm in the water, got no heat. If I don't move, I've got Bulwark, but I do have to turn. How do I just turn? I want to stand where I am. I don't know if I can. That's annoying, because I won't be able to get to do the guard thing. I bet you there's a way, and I just can't figure it out. Oh well. Go ahead and do this. It's fine. So you won't be guarded this time. Hopefully it's okay. We're gonna hit this guy with all that. I mean, you know what? I may as well fire the LRMs. I'm not worried about heat, and we got tons of ammo. So most of the LRMs will miss, but we may as well pile on a little bit more damage here. A couple of them did get lucky. He's only got the 25% cover. Oh, there we go. Nice little crit there. If we hit him again with our Atlas, he'll probably get knocked down, honestly. I mean, energy weapons don't do as much knockdown. See, you're going to hit here, and you're going to do full damage to my Orion, killing the right torso and right arm. I'm going to blame the fact that I couldn't stand still on that one.
Waiting for orders.
Now, I'm willing to bet. Oh, I can't actually see this guy, so again, it's the same sort of problem. This would be reversing into water. Show me my firing arcs. Yeah. Okay, do that.
All right.
I'd have preferred not moving at all. Turn everything on. Multi-target. No, again, we'll just hit... if I did Inspire... Yeah, let's do it, because we'll probably get up to 100% accuracy here.
What you got?
Alright, 95 is pretty good. 45% with the LRMs back there. That's probably okay to spread that out.
Acknowledged.
Okay. Ah, there we go. Obliterated. Now I'm really happy I sent the missiles in the back. And almost a knockdown. Oh, he did get knocked down. That's a really good outcome. Okay, I'm still bitter that I couldn't figure out how to just, like, turn my guy in place. Because that's what I really would have wanted to do with the Orion. I suppose that still would have accounted as a move, so it probably still would have not done my auto bulwark ability. Which is too bad. Hey, you're standing right on top of the awesome. So he's going to move, probably into cover. His accuracy... Oh, shit, that was a painful shot.
Shot got through my armor.
His accuracy would have been hurt because he stood up, but we're okay now. You're definitely going to stand in place. Yeah, you're missing a lot of guns, but you're just going to stand in place and fire. It's going to be fine. Shoot with everything. And the LRMs aren't super accurate here. But yeah, we get the guarded, entrenched. Knocked down. Oh, a leg got destroyed. That's why he got instantly knocked down. Beautiful. And his pilot was injured on the knockdown. And we are going to get to act first in phase... Oh, he acts on phase 2. Yeah, so...
Standing by.
Attack with all the things. Called shot for the center. Overheat, internal damage, be damned. Fire with everything. I mean, I could just avoid firing with the LRMs, which would cut back on our heat dramatically, but no. Okay, well, a great many things were destroyed. We didn't actually blow up the center torso, which is what you need to kill him. And I wouldn't have gone to a shutdown. I knew I wasn't going to shut down with the Atlas. So we probably took a lot more damage than we needed to. We're going to win. I mean, it's possible he's going to take a shot and, like, blow up my Orion. That would be a little on the devastating side. He's moving really slow with his damage leg. He might just be taking a punch at my Atlas. Which, again, like, that's a lot. The heavy mechs do a lot of melee damage.
Getting banged up pretty good.
It also does a lot of instability. Turns out we're okay here. Well, since so many of your weapons are blown up, I'm just going to get you to go up there and punch. And we'll save our inspiration for our Atlas. Just punch this guy, which is probably going to knock him down. Because he had a lot of instability, did not. Oh, we blew him up! Hey! Okay, so yeah, that could have been handled a little bit better, but it wasn't too bad. So there you go. There's a quick let's try of BattleTech. This is the backer beta. A lot of work still coming on the game, clearly, but I think to me this is very compelling, and I'm really looking forward to the campaign mode. To me, it's going to be the campaign that that makes or break the game. I'm going to skip the survey this time, but it's nice. They ask you like, oh, did you enjoy this map? Did you find there was enough terrain? Did you find it too hard, too easy? How was the UI? They're doing a really good job, I think, of trying to solicit information from the players to find out how they enjoy the game. But yeah, I will revisit BattleTech in the future, 100% for sure. Not in the current state, probably. I don't think there's much point in making a whole series of videos like this. But as new features get rolled out, maybe when multiplayer hit, maybe when, I mean, certainly when the campaign releases, which is probably going to be at release. Really looking forward to giving that a try. Thanks for watching, folks. See you next time.